Hey there, ladies and gents, and welcome to this video. First of all, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch this. Just to warn you, this is going to be a fairly long video, but if you don't get through it all, maybe just come back to it tomorrow or the next day and finish it off. But I think we're going to build something here that may interest you if you want to do something a bit different in Divi. So let me give credit where credit is due. So I got the idea to build this from this YouTube creator called Crowdcoder. And I will link to his this video in the description, so if you want to check it out, you're more than welcome to. But I was watching this and he built this identical navigation bar here. So I thought, let me try build it in Divi and then show you how I did it. Let me just show you what we are going to build. So it's going to be this navigation bar on the left, and you'll see if we scroll, it is fixed to the left. And then it has these nice hover effects, and there's like this pop-up on the right that just shows the name of the page. And then over here we have some social media icons. This I'm just putting here to fill the space. You don't have to put this in if you don't want to. Then if we open the navigation bar, your logo appears and you can close it as well. And then over here, there's no more a pop-up on the right here. It's got the name next to the icon here, and then it's got the hover effect with the green background, and you'll notice the icon and the text color also changes to a very dark gray color. And then if we go to a new page, you'll notice that page then gets highlighted with this green background color, and if we open it, it's highlighted there as well. So that just shows you which page you are currently on. So I think that's all I need to show you. So I think we should get ready to build. So I'm just going to go to the front edge, and this is what I currently have. I just have Divi installed on this WordPress website. I haven't done anything else besides install Divi, and then I've created my pages that I want in the menu. So just make sure your pages are created and you've installed Divi. If you don't have Divi, I do have a link in the description where you can purchase Divi. And just to be upfront with you, if you do purchase through that link, I do get a commission. And if you do purchase, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. It does help support my channel and me. And then if you also need things like web hosting or domain name, also check the description. And I've got a link there to Geeks, which is an eco-friendly hosting company. So if you need hosting in that, please support them. And I will also get a commission there. So again, if you do purchase hosting and domain names through there, thank you so much. It does help me. And then I think just before we start, there's going to be a fair bit of coding here. Mostly CSS, a little bit of HTML, and a little bit of JavaScript. So I'm going to basically not build this whole thing and then tell you guys to go copy the code and paste it into the Divi builder. I want to make my video tutorials more about helping you learn instead of just being able to copy and paste. So you won't find the code anywhere. You're actually going to have to write the code with me. So what I suggest is when I finish a line of code, maybe just pause the video, copy that line of code exactly as is, because if it's not exact, your website or this navigation bar is not going to work. So just copy it exactly and then carry on with the video. And then I'm thinking that if maybe there are some of you that really want to learn or don't want to write code or whatever the case, I will then maybe make a website where I sell these layouts that I make. It'll be cheap. It'll be between $7 and $10. And that will just maybe help you if you really don't feel like writing code and going through a long video. And it will help me because these layouts I make do take a lot of my time. And I get some money for the time I've put into it. So let me know if you'd like that, and just drop a comment and let me know. Last thing. This is really the last thing. If you get stuck anywhere or something's not working when you do this, just drop a comment or send me an email. My email address is in the description and I will help you. So just give me a link to the website that you're working on and I will troubleshoot your code and tell you where you've gone wrong. So it's not that I'm going to just build this and leave you to it. I will help you if you do get stuck. Okay, so I think that's it. Let's move into building. So I'm going to come to my dashboard, and 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 you just need to make sure you have all your pages created. So I've got an About Us page, a Contact Us page, a Home page, an Our Portfolio page, and an Our Services page. You can have as many pages as you want, or you don't even have to have this many pages. You can have 2 or 3 if you want, but I'm just using these as an example. And 5 is normally kind of the standard. So just make sure you've created your pages. That's all you need to do, is make sure you've created your pages, and then you can carry on with this tutorial. The first thing we're going to do, we want to make our menu. So we want to come over to Appearance, just hover over Appearance and select Menus. First thing we need to do, we need to give our menu a name. So I'm going to call this Main Menu. And this you can name anything. Then click the button to create the menu. And then once you've created the menu, you're going to come over here to the left hand side. I'm going to click on View All so I can see all my pages. And there's an extra home here. I think I created home twice by mistake. But anyway, let me just add them all to the menu. And let me delete one of the homes. So it's this custom link one. I'm just going to remove it. Okay, but you don't have to worry about that. That shouldn't happen to you. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drag these into the order I want them. So you can do that as well. Okay, and then once you've got it in the order you want to come up to Screen Options here. And you want to ensure that CSS Classes is checked. Because we're going to give each page link here a class. So once you've checked that, you can then close that. And let's open the first page. So let's first start with the classes. Under CSS Classes here, type in dg-menu-links. So guys, pause now and then just copy that piece of code quickly. Okay, done that? Good stuff. Then we're going to give it another class. So we're going to put a space and we're going to type dg space and then the name of our page. So in this case, it's the home page. I'm going to just type home. And guys, just name this whatever your page is. So in this case, mine is the home page. So I'm naming it dg home-link. Okay, and then for the About Us, I'm going to name, instead of home, I'm going to name this About, and so on. Okay, so I hope you understand that. So let's just copy all these classes and let's go to the About Us, and under CSS Classes, let's paste that. And like I said, in the second class, just take the home out and replace it with your next page name. And then close that and come to the next page and we can paste that under CSS Classes. Again, change your page name. I'm going to do it to the next one as well. And I'm going to change that page name. And this is the only time I'm going to really say to you, change this to your page name or don't copy my code exactly. If you know what you're doing in CSS, then you know you guys can name this anything and you should know what's happening in the CSS part. But if you are a beginner with CSS, I'd suggest copying me exactly. The only thing you need maybe can do is if your pages aren't exactly like mine, just in the second class here, just refer to your page name over there. Then for the Contact Us, we're just going to do the same thing under CSS Classes, just paste that. I'm just going to quickly change that to Contact. Okay, so that's the first thing. The next thing we need to do, we need to add the icons. And we're going to use the Elegant Themes font. So I'll leave a link to this page in the description below. And what you're going to do, you're going to scroll down towards the bottom. And when you get to this, Complete Set and Unicode Reference Guide. Yeah, you're going to see all the codes for the icons they have. And you don't have to use exactly the same icons I'm going to use. You can use different ones. But for my first icon, I used this home icon. So I'm just going to find that quickly. Here it is over here. I'm just going to click on the code and it will highlight the entire code. And I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to come back to the menus here. And what we're going to do, so here you've got the name of your page. You're going to start right at the beginning. So put your cursor before the name of your page. and copy exactly what I'm going to type here. So we're going to use the left arrow key. We're then going to type the word span, space, and then the word class. We're going to use the equal sign, and we're going to use 2 double quote marks like that. And then we can use the right arrow key to close that. Okay. Then make another left arrow key and the / and type the word span again, and then use the right arrow key. So what that is, we are opening the span tag here, and here we are closing it, and that's why we put this /. And now in the span class here, between the 2 quote marks, we're going to name a class here, and we're going to call this et-pb-icon. And that is actually Elegant Themes class for their icons. Okay. And then you're going to put your cursor in between the opening span tag and the closing span tag like I've got it there. And you're just going to paste that code that you copied from the Elegant Themes website. And then the last thing we're going to do here, we're going to come to the end of this closing span tag and before the page name and put our cursor over there. And we're going to put the page name in what we call P tags. And to create a P tag, we're going to use the left arrow key, the letter P, and then the right arrow key. And then let's go to the end of the page name and close that P tag. And we do that again by using the left arrow key, the /, the letter P, and the right arrow key. So that's our P tags over there. That's opening the P tag, and then that's closing the P tag with the /. So guys, I hope you understand that. So what I would suggest here is you pause again and copy that code exactly like it is. Done that? Great. Now what we're going to do, let's copy this whole span tag here. So let's, from the opening span to the closing span tag, let's copy that. And we can close this now, and let's go to do the next page. And again, before the page name, put your cursor there and paste those span tags. And then go to the Elegant Themes website and look for your next icon. In this case, I'm using the 2 people one. So I'm using this one. Yeah, I'm just going to click on the code. It highlights the entire code. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back to the menus page. And I'm going to take this code out here that we use for the home. Make sure you don't delete these arrows or anything with the span tag, just the code of that icon. And I'm going to paste the new icon code. Okay. And then again, I'm going to come to the closing span tag. I'm going to come to the end of it and just before the name of the page. And I'm going to open my paragraph tag or P tag. And at the end of the page name, I'm going to close it like that. So guys, do that for each of your pages. I'm going to quickly do that now and fast forward through this so I don't bore you too much. But all you're going to do is you're going to get a copy of these span tags, the entire code there. Go to the Elegant Themes website, get the code pasted, and then put the P tags around your page name. So I'll see you now. Okay, so I've done all mine. Hopefully you are caught up and have done all your links here. So once you've done all the coding there, you're going to click the Save Menu button. And you'll then get this message confirming that your menu has been updated. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to come over here to Divi and just hover over it. And we're going to click on Theme Builder. And I'm just going to open it in a new tab. Once you get to the Divi Theme Builder, we're going to add a global header. And you might already have a global header. So what you'll do is delete that global header and add a new one. Unless you only want to use this sidebar for certain pages, you'll just add a new template. But for most of you, yours will look like mine, and we're going to click this option to add a global header and then build global header. The page builder will then load, and what we're first going to do, we're going to make this section here, this entire dark gray section, and we're going to use the section to make this. So let's go back to the theme builder. And let's hover over the section and let's click section settings. We then want to come to the background color. And yeah, you can use any color you want to. I'm going to use a dark gray, so you can copy me as well if you just want to build it out exactly as I'm going to build it. And then you can change the colors later. So let's click this option to add a background color. And in the box here, I'm going to put a hashtag and 33333. Oh, there's too many threes now. It should be 6 threes. Okay, so let's save that. I just want to lock this to the left. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do, when I come to the design tab, we want to come to sizing, and I want this section to fill the whole height of the page. So under height here, I'm going to go into that block and I'm going to type 100 VH. And the VH stands for viewport height, and you'll see now that the section fills the entire height of our screen. And then the next thing we want to do, when I come up to advanced here, to the advanced tab, and then we want to click on the section CSS ID and classes. And then under the class, not the ID, the class, we want to type in a class there. And we're going to call this DG-navbar. So type it exactly like that. And then we're going to push space and we're adding another class. And this is going to be called DG-navbar-active. So guys, pause here and just copy that exactly as it is. Right, done. Great stuff. Okay. Then we can save that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click on here. I'm going to select this option, go to layer. You can do this if you want to. I just find it easier to work in this layer panel than clicking over here. So I'm going to now add a new row. So you can either click there to add a new row or in the layers panel. And we only need a one column row. So let's select that option. And then I'm just going to, before I select a module, I just want to come back into the row. And I want to come to the design tab. I want to come to sizing. And for use custom gutter, I want to select yes. And I want to move this all the way to 1. So all the way to the left. The next thing I want to do, we can close the sizing section. Let's open the spacing section. And for margin top and bottom, let's click the chain link and let's put 0 for top, and then it will also affect bottom. And let's do the same for padding for top and bottom. Let's click the chain link, put 0 in top, and then the 0 will appear in bottom as well. Great, so we can save that. And then I'm going to duplicate the row 3 times. So not 3 times, twice, sorry, just twice. So we duplicate the row twice. So we've got these 3 rows now. So let's come to the first row here and let us add a new module. And the module we're going to add is the image module, and this is what's going to hold our logo. So let me just go to the finished layout here and show you. So it'll be this logo over here. So I'm going to click in the image here, and what you want to do is now upload your logo. So you can either drag it into the screen and it will upload, or you can go to this button that says select files and go to the folder where the logo is located. I'm just going to drag it in from our other screen. Right, so there's the logo. I'm then going to click this button to upload the image, and there the logo appears. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the design tab. You might not need to do this depending on the size of your logo. I'm just going to come to sizing here, and I just want to put a max width on it so that it doesn't get bigger than 40% on all screen sizes. And then the next thing I want to do, I want to come to the advanced tab, and I want to give this image a class. So we're going to click on CSS ID and classes, and under CSS class, let's give this a class of DG-logo. And one thing I forgot, let's go back to the content. Normally when you have a logo, it's linked to your home page. So let's do that. Let's come to this link option, or this link section, and under image link URL, you'll get this icon here. Click on that and then choose this option, homepage link. So that means that if someone clicks on this, your logo, it will take them to the homepage. Great, so we can save that. The next thing we want to put under the image, we're still in the first row, and under the image we're going to add another module. And here we're going to add our icon. And for this icon, I'm going to type in hamburger in the search bar. And you can choose any type of hamburger menu you want to use. I'm going to use this one. And then we want to come to the design tab. And we want to click on the icon section. And I want to change the color to white. And then if I come here, when I hover over it, you'll notice that it changes to this green color. So let me do that. So if you hover over icon color here, you get this like mouse pointer. Just click on that and you'll get the normal state and the hover state. So click on the hover state and I'm going to use this green color. I'm just going to go back to the normal state. And then for the icon size, I want to make this 32 pixels. Again, guys, you can make this any size you want. You can play around and see what works for you. The next thing I want to do, I want to come down to the alignment section and I want to move this all the way to the right. So I'm going to select right and let me move this down and you'll see it's moved to the right. We then want to come to the advanced tab and we also want to give this a class. So we're going to come to the CSS ID and classes section and under CSS class, we're going to call this DG open. So guys, just copy that code as it is there. So what we can do, we can duplicate this icon module now. So we're going to just click the duplicate button and another one should appear there. And then I'm just going to go to the settings for that second icon. And in the search bar here, I'm going to type close. And I'm going to use this close button. You, again, can use any one you want to. And you'll see it appears over there underneath the hamburger menu. And then the only thing I want to do here, I just want to come to the advanced tab, to our CSS ID and classes. And instead of this being DG-open, I'm going to change the open to close. So just make sure you've got your code like that for the close icon. Okay, we're going to save that there. So now you'll see if I hover over this row, the logo and the two icons are not in line. They stack underneath one another. So we're going to use a little bit of code in our Divi builder here to put them in line with each other. So let's come to column. So we're going to affect the column settings here. So make sure you come to the column and click on those settings. And we're going to go to the advanced tab and we're going to come over to custom CSS and we're going to open that. And in the main element, we're going to use something called Flexbox. And we're going to type display. And you'll notice it also comes up here in the Divi builder. So if this is not coming up, you've either spelled it wrong or the code doesn't exist. So just make sure you've got it spelled correctly. We're going to put a colon and we're going to use something called flex. So now you see it's pushed the icons in the same line as the logo, but it's not really sitting in the center. So we're going to go to a new line and we're going to use another 2 lines of code. And the first one is justify. If we just type in just, you'll see we get these 3 choices. We want to use justify content, colon, and then center. And then end with a semicolon. And then go to a new line. The last line of code we're going to use is align. And you'll see we get a few options here. We're using align items. And colon, and then we're going to make that center as well. And I don't know if you saw, but it's pushed it down a bit. Okay, so that's that done. So we've done this first pass, which is this row here. And I know over here it's got showing the hamburger menu and the close button, but we'll sort that out later with some CSS. Okay, so we're done with that row. We can minimize that row and we can come to this next row here. And we can add a new module, and this is in the second row. And in that row, we're going to add the menu module. So select that. Yeah, and this must be a glitch with Divi. I don't know why it comes up like this, but it doesn't show the actual main menu we made. So what I do, I just click on this, and I click on select a menu. And then it brings up our menu and you'll see all the icons. I'm just going to come back to select a menu. I'm going to change it back to main menu. And there's our menu. So you'll see we've got the icons and the name of our page. And it looks all ugly now, but we're going to fix this all with CSS. The one thing we want to do is we want to remove this white background. So we're going to come down here to background and you'll see if you hover over this, you get this trash can. Just click on that to delete that. Then the only other thing we want to do here, let's go to the Advanced tab. Again, we're going to give this a class, so let's click on CSS ID and classes, and under CSS class, let's call this DG menu, DG-menu, like that. So just copy that as is, and then we can save that. Okay, everything we're going to start with CSS, so just leave it like that, that's fine. Then the last thing we need to do is we need to add the social media icons. And it's going to be quick, so if you don't want to add it, just quickly watch through here or maybe fast forward a little bit. But if you do want to add it, I'm going to quickly show you how to do that. So we finished with the second row. Now let's come to the last row and let's add a new module in that row. And let's search for social, and the social media follow module will come up. We're going to use that, so let's select that. Right, so I'm going to leave the Facebook and Twitter icons. I'm just going to add another one, and I'm going to add Instagram. And then you'll see on mine, I don't have any background. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come to the background, and I'm going to delete it. And it only deletes it for the Instagram icon because we're working on Instagram currently. But to remove all of them, we can come to background here and right click on it, and we can use this option to extend background styles. And where it says to, we're going to click in there and we're going to search for social. And then we're going to use this option, all social media follows. And it'll be throughout this column because we're only in the one column here. And we're going to click the extend button. And that will remove all the backgrounds. Then let's click on this back button. And let's go to the design tab. And let's click on alignment. So this I want in the center. If you see on my original design here, it's in the center there. So let's center it, and it will center on the page. Then we want to come down to icon. We just want to make sure it's white. And then let's click on the hover button. And let's go to the hover state. I'm going to change it to my green. Again, you can use whatever colors you want here. Let's go back to the normal state. And then under use custom icon size, I want to select yes. And I want to change this to 28 pixels. So it just enlarges it a bit. Okay, and that's that done. So we can save that. And guys, that's basically the layout done. We can save that. I hope I've remembered everything here, but if not, we can just come back to it. Once saved, let's click this close button. And let's click this green save changes here. You need to save this here, otherwise it won't take effect on the front end. And then what I'm going to do, let me just open the website on a new tab, or in a new tab I should say. And that's currently what our website looks like. So it's not pretty, okay. And I've noticed something here, and this has also got to do with something with Divi. I don't know why it happens. But you'll see there's only the one icon showing. So if yours is like this, what we need to do, we need to come into the front end, we need to come to Divi and to theme options. Then over here you get this tab for general and performance. Click on performance, and this dynamic icons, just disable it and then save the changes. And then let's go back to the front end and refresh it and just make sure all the icons show now. Okay, and now they all show. I don't know why it does that, but just disable the dynamic icons if yours does the same. So now what we're going to do, we're going to use some CSS to style all of this. And there's two ways we can insert CSS. If you come back to the theme builder, I'm just going to open this because we might use this again. No, we're definitely going to use the theme builder again. So just open the theme builder again. Okay, what we can do under these social media icons, you can add a new module and type code and insert this code module. And you can type your CSS in here. We are going to need this code module anyway because we're going to put our JavaScript in this code module. But if you also want to put your CSS here, to put your CSS, what you're going to do is use the left arrow key, type the word style, the right arrow key. It will automatically create the closing style tag, and then you can just push enter twice, and you can write all the CSS I'm going to show you in between the style tags. We're also going to need script tags, so let's just enter twice, and let's use the left arrow key, type in script, then the right arrow key. It will then close the script for us automatically with that closing script tag, and we're going to write all our script in there. Okay, I'm not going to do my CSS over here. I just find it a bit tricky to work in here, so I'm going to delete those style tags, but you can put your CSS in there if you want to. I'm actually going to put my CSS in the theme options here. So if you go to theme options over here, and just make sure you're on general, and you come down to the bottom, there's this area called custom CSS, and I'm going to write all my CSS in here. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, if I inspect this page and I put it on a phone, you notice we get this hamburger menu here, and we don't want that. So we're first going to remove this hamburger menu. Okay, we want our menu to always display like this. So on all devices, desktop, tablet, and phones. So let's go back to the theme options and let's do our first line of code. So if you remember in the theme builder, I just want to get the layer panel open again, as it makes it easier to go between everything that I'm going to show you. I just want to come to the menu here. I'm going to open the settings. I'm going to come to advanced. Under the CSS ID and classes, if you remember, we gave it this CSS class. So let's copy that CSS class. Let's come back to theme options and let's put a dot and paste that class there. We're then going to use the space bar and we're going to type a dot and then et underscore mobile underscore nav underscore menu. Then we're going to open curly braces and we're going to say display none, because we don't want that hamburger menu to display. And guys, I'm going to save each time and go to the front end just to show you what's happening. And maybe it's a good idea that you also save and go to the front end just to make sure you are where I am and everything's working as it should be. So let's save the changes. And I think maybe pause here and just make sure you got the code exactly like I have it there. If you've obviously used a different class than my DG menu, obviously put your class there that you've used. So let's go to the front end and let's refresh the page. Now you'll see that hamburger menu is there, but remember that other hamburger menu was like that turquoise or teal color. That's gone now because we've got it as display none. So let's go back to, I just want to move this here next to the front end so that I can just switch between the two quickly. So now to display our menu, let's go to a new line and let's again take our DG menu class and paste it on that new line and then space, and then we're going to target something called dot et underscore pb underscore menu and then double underscore. So just make sure it's double underscore, there's two underscores, and then menu again. And we're going to open curly braces, and for this one we're going to display block. So that means it will display. So guys, pause here and just make sure you have this code as is. And once you've done that, let's save the changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And now you see our menu shows there. Okay, so we can come out of the phone view. I'm going to close this now. And we've got everything we need. Okay, so one thing you see happening here, if I hover over these, you see how it fades slightly to a grayish color. I don't want that. If you want yours like that, you can leave it like that. But I want mine not to have this fading effect. And there's opacity put on there. So let me show you how to find this. If we right click on this and we inspect, and we come to the link, because that when we hover, it's on the link that grays coming in. And we come over here to hover, and we select the hover state. You'll see there's this opacity of 0.7. Now if I change this to 1 and I hover, you'll see it no longer has that lighter shade of gray. So what we're going to do, we can actually right click over here and we can copy the entire rule. We can come to our theme options here and we can go to a new line and we can paste it in there. But I just want to get the DG menu here so that we can target that menu specifically. And we want to paste our DG menu between this ET menu and the A. So just paste it in there like that. So just check that code. And this is only if you don't want that that slight change in color. And let's save changes. Then let's go to the front end and refresh. And now you see, sorry, it's still doing it because I've targeted the wrong thing. If you'll see here, we actually named this DG menu links. We're not targeting our entire menu, which is over here. That's where we named it DG menu. But we just want to get this DG menu link. So sorry, that's my mistake. So let's go back to theme options. So instead of DG-menu, we got DG-menu-links. And then let's save that. And let's go to the front end and refresh. So now when I hover, it doesn't have that opacity on it. Okay, perfect. All right, so let me close this. We'll come back to that maybe a bit later. So the next thing we want to do, I want to work in this state first, where the nav bar is open. So let's first set the width of this nav bar, because you'll notice on our front end, it's taking up the whole width, and we only want it to come up to about over there. So let's go back to the theme builder, and if you remember, if we go to the section settings, to advanced, and to the CSS ID and classes, we gave two classes here, and I want to grab this first class of DG navbar. Then I'm going to come back to theme options. I'm going to go to a new line. I'm going to put a dot and paste my DG navbar. And I'm going to open curly braces. So as I said, we want to make the width smaller. So I'm going to set the width to 300 pixels. So guys, just copy the code like that. Pause and copy it. Done that, great. Let's save the changes. And let's go to the front end and refresh. And now you'll see our navbar only goes up to 300 pixels. It doesn't go up, doesn't take the whole width of the screen. So the first thing I want to do, if you notice when I hover over these, you don't get that pointer. And what I mean about it is if I hover over that, you see how my cursor changes to a pointer? And also there, it changes to the pointer. Let's first do that. And if you remember, if we go to the theme builder and we come to these icons, the hamburger menu, we gave it a class of DG open, and the close icon, we gave it a class of DG close. So I'm just going to copy that DG close. I'm going to come to theme options, and let's go to a new line and paste that. Just remember to put a dot in front of it. And just to let you know, the reason we're putting a dot in front of our class is to just say that that is a class. Let's open curly braces. And in there, sorry, we also need the DG open. So let's also put a dot in the beginning and paste our DG close. And we'll just change the close to open and put a comma and a space. So guys, just make sure your code's like that. So you got your dot DG open, comma, space, dot DG close. We're going to use something called cursor, colon, and we're going to use pointer, like that. So just pause now and make sure your code's correct, or if you're still typing it out, just copy it exactly like this. If you've done that, great. Let's save changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And now you'll see our cursor changes to a pointer. Let's tackle our menu items, our menu links. So the first thing we want to do, you can see they align alongside one another. There's just not enough space. Yeah, that's why they fall to the next line. But we want them stacked underneath one another. So let's just right click on here and let's inspect and see what's going on here and how we can fix it. So I don't really want that. So I want to come to this. So this is the parent of all our navigation links or our menu links here. As you can see, this is the parent, you'll see if I close that, it takes all our links away. If I open it, it shows all of our links. So that is our parent. And it's already got this property of flex. So if I click on flex, you'll see there's the flex there. So because it's already got flex, we only need to really write one line of code. And I just want to come to, here's the flex here. And if I click on this icon here, I want to see what happens if I put the flex direction. At the moment, it's sitting at rows, and that's why it's appearing alongside one another. But if I change it to column, you'll notice it stacks. So that's what we want to do. Okay, so we need this code here. So not the gray part, just the white. So let's copy this. And let us go to our theme options and let's go to a new line and paste what we've just copied. And let's open curly braces. And then we just need to come back here and we just need the flex direction of column over here. So you can copy that or you can type it in. I'm just going to copy it, come back here and paste that in. I think let's just make this more targeted. So if we come back here, and you see we're targeting this et_pb_menu, which is over here, et_pb_menu. And it's also got our class of dgmenu, which we gave here. If I go back to the theme builder and I go into the menu, go to advanced and to the CSS ID and classes, we gave it this class here, dgmenu. Let's copy that. Let's go back there and over here, right in the front of our code that we pasted there, let's just put another dot and paste ours. But guys, don't put a space there. Just leave it as that, as I've got it there. And the reason we do that is because the etpb menu and our class of dg menus is all in the same class. So we don't put a space over there, okay? Just make sure of that. So let's save the changes. And let's go to the front end and refresh. And now you'll see it stacks underneath one another. Perfect. But now we actually want this to sit in the middle, not to the right like this. So now we need to see what's going on there. So that's not affecting it. Let's go to the one up. That's not affecting it. Let's go to another one up. That's not affecting it. If we go to the next one, you'll see that's affected. So if you look to the left, if I highlight over it, it shows you that in that purple block, our icons and menu links are all pushed to the right hand side. So it's also got a display of flex here. And if we come here, let's see why it's got that. And it looks like it's this justify content flex end, meaning that it's pushing the content to the end of the container. But we want it in the center. So if I change this to center, you'll see it moves to the center now. So let's copy this. And we want to copy then all the code. So let's select copy rule. Let's go to the front end. And let's come here and go into a new line and paste our code there. And again, let's use our .dg menu to make it like more specific. And let's paste that again in the front. And again, guys, don't have a space there, because remember this etpb menu and this dg menu are in the same class. So we're just going to change these to center. And this one's already changed to center because we changed it in the inspect tool here. So let's save that. Guys, pause now and copy that. Just make sure you've got the code exactly like that. And let's go to the front end and refresh. and now you'll see our menu items are in the center. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, you'll notice our menu names like home, about us, our services, etc. sits underneath our icon, and we actually want it alongside our icon. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's go and inspect again. Let's just go there, inspect, and if we go to, over here, and we look at the A tag. So our A tag, there's the opening A tag and there's the closing A tag. Remember, the closing has the / and there's the opening. And in our A tag sits our icon and our home text. So what we can do on this A tag, we can display that flex and align the items center so that they align alongside one another. Because when you align something flex, it puts it in a row, not in a column, unless you change it to column like we did earlier. So let's do this. Let's go to the front end. Let's go to a new line and let's get our .dg menu again. And then if you remember, we gave each menu item a class of DG menu links over there, DG menu links. So we need that as well. So let's put .dg-menu links. And then, like I said, we need to target this A tag because that's where our icon and our text sits in. So let's also target that. So let's put an A, and then we can open curly braces and we can type display flex. Okay, that will put it alongside one another. And then let me just save this. You don't have to worry about saving now. Maybe just copy this so long, pause and copy this. Right, then I just want to show you, if I now refresh this, you'll see now that our text is alongside our icons, but it sits right at the top of our icon. So what we need to do, we need to align it center. So if I come back to theme options and we go to under display flex, we go to a new line and we say align -items. And again, guys, it comes up like this here. So you can just click on that to make sure you got the correct spelling. And let's put center and save that. And go to the front end and refresh. Now you'll see it sits in the center. And these icons are large. We're going to change this now. And you'll see it'll look much nicer. But now at least everything is fine there. It's in the center of our icon. Okay, so I think let's work on our icon now. Let's change the color. You'll see here the color needs to be white. And it's smaller. So let's do that. Now, if we right click on the first icon here, remember we gave it this class of ETBP icon. So that's what we're going to target. Okay. But we're going to be specific again. So let's get this entire code here at the top. Copy that. Let's go to a new line and paste it there. And then we want to target that class of ET-PB-icon. And remember, it's actually a span tag. So to even be more specific, come to the front of it, type in span, and then, oh, sorry, I forgot the dot. So remember, span.et-pb-icon, like that. So open curly braces, and let's first change the color, and mine's going to be white. You can, again, choose your own colors if you want. And then let's also give it a font size of 28 pixels. Okay, let's save that and let's see how it's taken effect on the front end. Guys, again, just pause if you need to and copy the code. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And then now you'll see our icons are white and they're much smaller. Now let's deal with, and this does look a bit messed up now, but I will fix it shortly. But let's just deal with one thing at a time. So let's deal with our page names now. I don't know if you can really see it because it's quite dark, but it sits right alongside the icon. So we're going to give it some spacing there. We're going to make it a bit larger and we're going to give it a white color. And that is our P tag. So previously we targeted the span class of ETPB icon, but now we're going to target this P tag because that's where our page name sits in. So let's go back to the front end, and we can actually copy this code. We can actually copy this entire code because we're going to use most of it. And let's go to a new line and paste that. And let's take the span.etbbi icon out. That's a bit of a mouthful. And instead of that icon class, let's put the p tag, because now we're targeting that text. And again, the color, I want to leave it as white. Again, guys, you can make it whatever color you want. Font size 28 pixels is going to be too big, so I'm going to make this 20 pixels. And then remember, we just need to put some spacing on the left there. So let's use margin hyphen left. And I'm going to use 16 pixels. So let's save changes. And guys, again, sorry, I think this was the last time I want to repeat this, but please pause and copy and make sure the code's right before you save and go move on, okay? So pause here if you need to and just check the code that it's all correct. So let's go to the front end and refresh. All right, so there we go. That looks much better now, except the spacing. So I think now that we've got this all sorted, let's deal with the spacing. As you can see, if you remember, we made a row with this logo and these icons. We made another row with our menu items, and we made another row with our social media icons. So we want to space these rows apart. So to do that, we're going to, again, use the famous flex box. Let's go back to theme options, and let's go to the top of our code here. And remember, the section has this DG navbar, and we want to space all those rows in that section. So we're going to put the code under this DG navbar. So where we've written width 300 pixels, let's go to the end of that and push enter. And let's use display flex. Okay. Right, so that's not really going to do anything. Well, it actually is. You don't have to worry about this part. I just want to show you what we're doing here. So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to go to the front, and you're going to see it's really going to mess up our menu. And you'll see now it's all alongside one another. And why is that? Because Flexbox, the default direction is row. So it aligns it all in a row. But we want it stacked underneath one another. So what we're going to do, if we come back to our code here, under display flex, push enter to a new line, and we're going to use something called flex direction, and we're going to change it to column. And if I save and go to the front end, and guys, I'm just showing you, yeah, you don't have to keep saving and going to the front end like I am. Just type the code as I'm doing it. I'm just refreshing here. Now you'll see it stacked underneath one another. Okay, but now there's still no spacing, so how do we deal with that? So if we come back here, and under where we've written flex direction column and push enter, we can use a property called justify content and space between, like that. So let's save that, and now, guys, you can pause and check, and we're going to go to the front page and refresh, and there we go. Now you see it's spaced nicely and evenly, so that's not all crammed against one another. So that's that done. So now I think what we need to do, we'll deal with the active, like when the page is active, we'll deal with that later, but I think let's deal with these with the hover now, that when we hover over, it gives us this green background, and our icon and text change to the dark gray color. Let's see how we're going to do that. So I'm going to go to the front end. I'm going to inspect one of these quickly. Okay, and I think we're going to put it on here. So if I highlight that, remember we gave this class of DG menu links. If I quickly just go to this element style and I do background color, I'm just going to do like a light blue. You see, there we go. We get this light blue background. So we need to target that DG menu links. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go to the front end, and let's go to the bottom of our code here, and let's push enter, and let's put dot DG hyphen menu hyphen links. Let's open curly braces. So the first thing I want to do, if you look at the one I've done already, there's basically, on the corners, it curves slightly. It's not absolutely square, it curves slightly. That's what we call border radius. So let's do that first. Let's put in a border radius of 3 pixels. Okay, let's go to the next line, and let's quickly give it a background color, and choose the color you want to give it. So I'm going to use this green color. I'm just going to copy it from my other screen here, and I'm just going to paste it here, and let's save that and just see how it looks. Let's go to the front end and refresh. Okay, now you'll see all of it's highlighted green, and the reason is it's because we put it on the normal state, not on the hover state. We've put this background color on the normal state. But I just wanted to show you how it looked, and I can already see a few things that we need to change here. So you'll see we need some padding in here because the icons are right touching the top of the background color here. So let's give it some padding. Let's come to under background color and put in padding. I'm going to give it a padding of 8 pixels. Let's save changes. And then let's go to the front end and refresh. Okay, that looks better. So notice that our icon and our texture is not actually in the center of this background. So I just want to right click on this and just see what's happening here. And let's start with the A. Okay, I see what the problem is. You see there's this padding here of 8 pixels at the bottom. So let's just find it here. Here it is, yeah, padding, it's right at the top, yeah, padding bottom. So if I make padding bottom, let's try 0. Okay, and that's better. So we need to actually, let's copy this entire rule. And let's go to theme options and just to the bottom of our code here, let's quickly paste that in and let's see if that fixes it up. Let's come back to the front end and refresh. Okay, that looks better. Okay, it's sitting in the center there. So next thing we want to do, let's not do the hover state. So let's go back here, and all we're going to do, let's copy this code here, this DG menu links with all this code, and let's just go underneath that and above this last code we just put in, and let's paste that, and let's do DG menu links : hover. Okay, and then we can take the border radius out, we'll leave the background color, and we can take the padding out. Then we just want to remove the background from our normal state. So we only want the background color to take effect on the hover state. Let's save the changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. If we hover now, there we go. So that looks good. But it's coming in a bit hard and fast, eh? So it's like an immediate change, and we don't want that. So we're going to use something called transition. And we can't put the transition on the hover state. We need to put it on the normal state. So let's come underneath padding here. And let's type in transition. And we can select background color. And we want it to take maybe half a second. So we write that as 0.5s. And then we want to use a transition of ease in out. I like that one. So if we save the changes, and remember guys, you're putting it under DG menu links, not the hover state. You can't put the transition on the hover state. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And then you see, there we go. Comes in much more easier. Looks much better. Okay, perfect. So now let's us change the color of the icon and the text to the dark gray color when we hover over it. Let's go back to our front end. And to do that, let's copy the DG menu links. Or sorry, let's actually copy this one. The DG menu links hover. Let's go underneath that code and paste that there. So every time we hover over the menu links, we want to target the icon and the text. So let's type in span dot et-pb-icon like that. And then let's put a comma and another space. And let's paste our DG menu links hover property again. And we want to target the P tag. So we want to target the icon and the P tag when we hover over this DG menu links. So we can then just open curly braces and type color, colon, and I'm going to use a dark gray. You can use whatever color you want to use. So let's save the changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And for some reason it's not working. Sorry. We actually also need to, before we target the icon and the text, we need to target our A tag, because our icon and text our A tag is its parent. So let's come back to the code here. And before the span there, let's put in the A tag, space, and before the P tag, let's put in a, not an S, an A and a space. So let's save that. So guys, just check this code. Just pause here and check this code. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And now, there we go. Now it works. But now you'll see that our background is coming in slow and easy, but our text and icon are changing hard and fast. So we need to also put a transition on that. So let's copy this transition. And remember, we can't put it on the hover state. So we need to go find our icon and our text. So we have used the class before. So here's our icon. So it's this DG menu links a span.etpb icon. Then under font size of 28 pixels, let's just go to a new line and paste our transition there. But there's no background color, so we just want to transition the color of the text. So we're just going to transition color. So let's copy that transition, and we need to also put it under the text, which is the P tag. So under margin left 16 pixels, just push enter and paste in your transition there, and let's save that. And then let's go to the front end and refresh. There we go, and that looks much better. Okay guys, I hope you're enjoying this and you're learning a few things, and if I'm going too quickly, I'm sorry, just let me know in the comments, and then in the next videos I'll slow down a bit. But again, if you're stuck anywhere or something's not working and you're tearing your hair out because you don't know what's going on, just leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Or if you prefer just being anonymous and sending me an email, that's fine as well. And guys, just remember to leave a link of the website that you're working on so I can troubleshoot it for you. Okay, so I think the next thing we need to do, let's go and make sure that whatever page is active, we have this green background on it, as well as the icon and the text are our dark gray color. How do we do that? So we are on our home page, and I know that because in the address bar here, it's just got our domain name there. It doesn't have /about us or /our services. So I'd specifically want to right click and inspect the home link. And if we come up here in this class here that I've highlighted, you'll see that, guys, I've just realized something. I haven't made the home page my front page, so you need to do that. So if you come through to settings, maybe you've done this already, but if you haven't, just come to settings and come to reading. I'm just going to open it in a new tab. And then where it says your home page displays, just make sure you select a static page and choose your home page as your front page. And click Save Changes. I thought I was losing my mind there because I couldn't see the code. Okay, we can close that and let's go back to our front end. I'm just going to refresh again. And again, I'm on my home page. Now, if we look here at this class here, you'll see that this class comes now with this class of current menu item. Because it's on the current page, this class is got current menu item. If you look at these others here, they don't have that class because we're not on that page. If I go to the About Us page, let's see what happens. The current menu item class is no longer on our home page here. It's now on the About page over there, current menu item. So that's what we need to target to make sure we have that green background with the gray colors for our icons and text. So let's go to our theme options and let's go to the bottom of our code here and let's target our DG menu links. That's the class we gave all our links. Let's put another dot, no space, and let's target that current menu items. Just remember the dashes, so it's current hyphen menu hyphen items. Okay, and then let's open curly braces. And what we want to do, you want to use the same background as the hover. Well, I suppose you do. If you don't, you want to use a different color, then feel free to. It might just look a bit funny. But I'm just going to paste my background color over there. And let's click Save Changes. And then let's go to the front page and refresh. Okay, it's not working. What have I done wrong? Have I spelled something wrong? Current menu, item, current, put an S there, guys. Just make sure that there's no S at the end of item. Sorry, that's my mistake. Let's save changes. And let's refresh the page. And there we go. Now it shows this background color on the current page. So if I go to home, it changes to home. Okay. The next thing we want to do, we want our icon and our home to also be, if I move my mouse away, you'll see it's the white color. We want it to be the gray color. So let's go back to theme options. Let's copy those classes and let's go to a new line and paste them. All right. So we want to get our span tag. So remember, we need to go into the A tag and then we can get our span.et-pb-icon. We want to push comma and then we can just copy all this code again. Space after the comma and paste that code. And we don't want to target the icon, but we want to target the P tag because that's where our text sits in. Let's open curly braces and all we want to do is change the color to our gray color. So let's save that. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And there we go. So there, our current page has the green background with our icon and the text being our dark gray. If we go to home, if we hover, we get the green background with the icon and text changing to the dark gray. If I click on the About Us, it now shows us the active page is the About Us with the green background and our icon, and the text is the dark gray. So we've done a lot. This has been a lot. So I'm thinking, what should we do next? Let me look at the actual page here. I think we finished with all that. So I think we need to do the state of the menu being like this. So we go to the theme builder. If you remember, if we go to the section settings, we go to advanced and we click on the CSS and ID classes, we've got this other class here of DG navbar active. I'm going to copy this entire class here. So I'm copying both classes there. I'm going to come to our theme options. I'm going to just make a comment here, and to make a comment, you push Control or Command and /. So just in between there, I'm going to make a comment that this is for the narrow navbar. Okay, and then under that, let's just quickly paste the code we got. So we need to put a dot to show that it's a class. So .dg navbar, and because the class is in the same line, we can bring that class together and put a dot there. So there's no space here, guys. Okay, no space there. Let's go to the end, put our curly braces, and let's set the width now. Now, when the nav bar is closed, it's more narrower. So we're going to make that width 70 pixels. Sorry guys, just make sure I changed it to uppercase to write the comment here, and I forgot to change it. So just make sure that your text is in lowercase. Okay, so let's save that. And then let's go to the front end and refresh. And you'll see now our nav bar is narrower, but everything else is messed up. But we're going to fix this now. Let's maybe start up here. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little white speck there. And that's the logo. And we want to remove that. So let's start with that. Let's remove the logo from this narrow sidebar. Let's go back to theme options. First, let's go to theme builder. And if you remember, if I go to the image module, go to advanced and to CSS ID and classes, we gave this a class of DG logo. So let's copy that. Let's go back to theme options and let's go to a new line and let's put a dot and paste our class. Now we don't want our logo to display when our sidebar is narrow like this, but obviously when it's expanded, we want it to display. So we need to grab this other class of .dg navbar active. Let's copy that and let's paste it before the DG logo and just put a space. So just make sure your code is exactly like this. Let's open the curly braces and let's put display colon none and then end with a semicolon. So let's save the changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And I don't know, I think, well, that little white speck we had there is now gone. The next thing we want to remove is the close button, because we only want the hamburger menu to appear when our nav bar is narrow like this. So let's remove that close button. And if I go to the theme builder and I go to that icon for the close button and I go to advanced to the CSS ID and classes, we gave this a CSS class of DG-close. Let's copy that and let's go back to theme options. So we can just put a comma over here and we can put a dot and paste our DG-close class there. But again, we need this DG navbar active class because we only want it when we have the navbar that's narrow. So let's paste that in before the DG-close. So guys, just make sure your code is like that. So let's save changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And the close button is now gone. We just have our hamburger menu. Obviously nothing's working as yet because we need to write some JavaScript to make this work. So the next thing we want to do, we want to remove the page names here because we just want our icons to show. So let's do that. Let's go to the theme options and we can stay on the same line with where we've got this code display none. Let's put another comma and let's again paste the DG navbar active. And then we only want to target our text, not our icon, just our text. So what we need to do, if we look where our text is, if you remember, so we gave it a class of DG menu links. Then we also have to go into the A tag here, and there sits our P tag. So we're going to get the DG menu links, then the A tag, and then the P tag. So let's go back to theme options, and I'm sure we've done this up here in code. So here we go. We can just grab this part here, the DG menu links, the A and the P. Let's copy that, and let's scroll down to the bottom here. And then just after we pasted that .dg navbar active, let's make a space and paste the other class with the tags. And let's save changes. Guys, just pause here and just make sure you've got this all correct. And let's go to the front page and let's refresh. And there we go. So the page names don't show anymore, just the icons. So I'm going to go back to the home page. So if you see we switched between pages, just the icon gets highlighted there. So that's the narrow nav bar done, and that's how it looks. So I think now let's work on the JavaScript to make this menu open and close. What we need to do, we need to go to the theme builder now. And if you remember, we added this code module. So let's go into the code module settings. And then we made these script tags over here. So you might have CSS in here if you went that route. Just make sure you put your script tags after the CSS. We're going to go in between the script tags. So the first thing we want to do is we want to grab this hamburger menu. So we need to make a variable in JavaScript. So to make a variable, we're going to type const. And just check the spelling of that, guys. And we want to name this variable. So I'm going to name this menu open. Now over here, on this name, I've used what's called camel case. And camel case is where you start with a lowercase m, or I should say it like this. Your first word starts with a lowercase. Your next word starts with an uppercase. And then if you had, for instance, a third word, that would also start with an uppercase. So something like that. So that's what camel case is. So just check how I've written this and make sure you copy it exactly like that. Then we're going to do space and then the equal sign and space again. And then we're going to use something called document.querySelector. I'm just going to widen this so you can see all the code on one line. So that's what you're going to type there, document.querySelector. You're going to use brackets, and then you're going to put in single quotation marks. You can use double if you want to. I prefer to use single in JavaScript. And then we need to get that hamburger menu. And if you remember, if we go to this icon of the hamburger menu, we go to advanced and to CSS ID and classes. We gave it the CSS class of DG open. So let's copy that. And let's go back to our code. And let's paste that in between the single quotation marks. And then just in the front of it, put your dot to show that it's a class. And then at the end of that entire code, you're going to put a semicolon. So guys, pause here and just copy that code exactly as is there. You've done that? Perfect. So let's copy this entire line of code. And let's go to the next line and paste the code. Now, the next thing we want to do, when we click on this hamburger menu, we want to make the sidebar expand. So let's grab our sidebar. If you remember, the sidebar is the entire section. So if we go into section and into the advanced tab under CSS ID and classes, we gave the section setting this DG navbar class, the first class. So let's copy that and let's go back to our code. And we're going to replace this DG open with that other class of DG navbar and leave the dot there. And then we need to change the variable name. So I'm going to name this navbar. And just remember the camel case on navbar here, guys. Let's go to a new line. So now what we want to do on this hamburger menu, we want to add something called an event listener. And the event we want to listen to is for when someone clicks on this hamburger menu. Let's go back to the theme builder and let's grab our hamburger menu. And if you remember, we gave it a variable of menu open. Let's type menu open like that. And remember the camel case. Sorry that I keep repeating it, but if this code is, if you even just don't do the camel case, your navbar is not going to work. And then you're going to put a dot and then something called add event listener. So just check that spelling and guys, sorry, check the camel case. Then you're going to use brackets and then you're going to open your single quote marks or double quote marks, whichever you're using. And then we want to listen for the click event. So you're going to type in click. Then you're going to go to the end of the last quotation mark, put in a comma and a space, and then we're going to use an arrow function. So you're going to use brackets again, go outside that first pair of brackets there, but before the last bracket, put in a space, the equal sign, and the right arrow key. And then another space, and then open curly braces. So guys, just pause and copy that like that. Now, just to make the code easier to read, I'm just going to enter over there. And now we want to grab our navigation bar. So let's type, remember if we named the nav bar that variable of nav bar. So let's get that nav bar. Remember camel case? And we want to add the class of, if I go to the section, advanced CSS ID and classes, we want to add the second class of DG nav bar active. So let's copy that. Let's go back to our code. And let's come over here where we've just written nav bar. So we want to put a dot, and then we want to add the class. So we're going to type in class list. Again, check camel case. Then another dot, and then remove. And then we're going to use brackets again and single quote marks. And we're going to paste that class in. And because we've actually specified it's a class over here, we don't have to put the dot there. Okay, so let's save this. Let's go to the front end and see what happens. I'm going to just refresh the page. So I'm going to click on the hamburger menu, and you see it expands. Okay, but now if I click the close button, nothing happens. So there's two things we need to do. When this expands, we need to remove this hamburger menu, and when we click on the close button, the nav bar needs to go back to the narrow state. So I think let's finish with the JavaScript, and then we'll deal with removing this hamburger menu. So let's go back to our JavaScript. We want to name another variable here for the close button. And what we're going to do, we can copy this entire code here. Go to the next line and just paste it over there. And this one we'll name menu close. And guys, just check the camel case. Then let's go back to the icon for the close button. Let's go to the advanced tab, and then let's click on CSS ID and classes, and then we use this DG close. So let's copy that. Let's go back to the code, and it's paste it instead of DG navbar. And just remember to leave the dot. Then all we're going to do, we're going to copy this entire code over here. We're going to go to a new line and paste it over there. And we're just going to change this menu open to menu close. And guys, check camel case. Everything else will stay the same, except for instead of remove, we're going to use add. And that's it. So that is our JavaScript done. So it's only a little bit of JavaScript. So let's save this. And guys, if you want to, now pause here and just check all this code is as I've got it here. Let's go to the front end and let's refresh. So I click the hamburger menu and it expands. I click the close button and it closes. So our nav bar is now working. So let's remove this hamburger menu when it's expanded like this. So we're going to use CSS for this. Let's go to our theme options. I'm just going to make a new comment here. And again, we do this by using Control or Command and /. Here I'm going to say expanded navbar. Okay. Right, so we want to remove that hamburger menu. So all we're going to say, if you remember, we called it .dg open. Okay. We're going to open our curly braces and we're going to use display none. So let's save the changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. But now our hamburger menu has disappeared. And that's because we've just got it to display none. But when it's in this narrow state over here, we need it to display block. So let's copy this code. Let's come above where we've just made this comment of expanded navbar. And let's just go to a new line and paste that code. And then we want to grab this .dg navbar active. And we want to put it before this .dg open, like that. So let's save changes. Oh, sorry. We need to change this to block instead of none. So let's save changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And our hamburger menu is back. So if we click on it, it doesn't display the hamburger menu in this expanded state, but when we close, it shows the hamburger menu. So this navbar is a bit, again, fast and hard and immediate. So I think we need to put a transition on this. So let's go back to our CSS and let's come right to the top here because we wrote the code here. So we're looking for this class of .dg navbar, and where we've put justify content space between, let's go to a new line after that and type transition colon width, because we want to transition that navbar expanding, which we want to transition the width, and then 0.5s for half a second, so for 0.5 seconds, and we want to use is in out. Let's save changes, and then let's go to the front end and refresh. And if I click on it, that's better. So it's much more easier on the eye. It's not so hard and immediate. So one thing I've noticed, if you just watch the menu here, if I click, you see it opens up, and you already see the green background and the name appearing before the menu's completely opened. So let's fix that. What we want to do is, under this DG navbar, let's go to a new line and let's put overflow and set it to hidden. And then let's save changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. If we click on it, you see now that green doesn't show. Okay, so the green doesn't show up while we are transitioning to the expanded navbar. Another thing I've noticed, if we open, just watch this about us. You'll see it starts on 2 lines and moves to 1 line. So that doesn't look too good. So let's fix that. Let's come back to the theme options, or wherever you're writing your CSS, and I'm looking for the P tag. So there's the icon, and here's the P. So you're looking for this DG menu links, the A tag, then the P tag. And under this transition, let's go to a new line, and we're going to use something called white space, colon, and then no wrap. So let's save changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And then just watch the about part here. If I open, it's now all on 1 line. It's not 2 lines and then goes on to 1 line. Now you'll see there's a shift. Watch the entire menu here. It moves down when we expand the menu and up when we close the menu. So the reason it's doing that is because the height is changing of this row. At the moment, the height, if you just watch my mouse, that is the height there. Okay, so it's quite tall in height. And that's because these icons stack on top of one another. If we open the menu, the height only sits that high now. So instead of being that high, it sits that high. So the way to stop this from jumping up and down, our menu link here, is to give this a set height. And to do that, let's go into theme options, Let's go into the row with the icons. Let's go to design, and then let's go to sizing. And then under height, I'm just going to set this at 200 pixels. Then let's save that. Let's come to the front end and let's refresh. And then let's open. Now you'll see that the menu links don't jump up and down because we've now given this a set height. So no matter if we're in the expanded state or this narrow state, it's always going to be 200 pixels in this row. Right, so that's how we fix that. Guys, I'm sorry, this video is getting long. So if you're happy with just it being like this, with the icons like this, and you've got this expanding section working, you can leave it here. But if you notice on this one, I've got this other thing. When you hover, it pops up on the right here, the name of the page. So I'm going to do that now, but if this video's gotten too long for you, you can just leave it as it is. But if you want to carry on and build this part out as well, I'm going to do that now. One thing I noticed, I just want to scroll down. You'll see our page content sits below this nav bar, and we don't want that. We want it to obviously sit, in our page, not below the nav bar. So I think I've done something wrong there. I just want to go to the theme builder, and I just want to go to the section settings. I want to come to advanced and to position. Okay, and I haven't set this. That's a problem. So you want to come to your section settings, come to the advanced tab, and under position here, you want to change the position to fixed so that it remains fixed to the left-hand side while you scroll. Let's save that. Let's go to the front end and refresh again. And there we go. Okay, so there's our content. I know it doesn't look nice now. Let me actually just let me enable the visual builder here. And I'll just copy the stuff I've written here. You'll probably have content on all your pages. I'm just doing this to show you that that nav bar sticks to the left as we scroll. So just ignore what I'm doing here. I'm just quickly doing this. Okay, so I've just given this page some height and just put this heading over here. So if I scroll down, now you'll see that this nav bar sticks to the left. If we open it, it still sticks. Okay. Right, so let's move on to when we hover, that on the side here, we get the name of the page. And this is just going to take some more CSS here, but we're nearly done. So guys, well done for sticking through this video. And I'm sorry it's been so long. Right, so how do we do that? We need to, let me just right click here and inspect again and just show you what we're going to do. And the only way I found we could do this is by using the after pseudo class. And we're going to put that after pseudo class. And if you don't know what that means, I'm going to show you now. But we're going to put it on our DG menu links. So we're basically going to insert some CSS onto this DG menu links class. So let's do that. Now, if you remember, if I come back to the theme options here, let's just give this a new comment here. And I'm going to just comment here that this is for the menu name on hover. So that, the menu name appears on hover. Just name it whatever makes sense to you. And we need to get that DG links menu. So let's go find that. I mean, it's all over the place now because we've used it quite often, but here it is here, this DG links menu. Let's copy that. And let's paste it over here. And as I said, we're going to use the after pseudo element. So to do that, we're going to use 2 colons. And we're going to type, sorry, you just make sure it's lowercase, after. I'm going to open our curly braces. And the first thing we need to get is content. So let's type in content, colon. and then single quote marks, and just remember the semicolon at the end. And you're not actually going to write anything in here now. I'm going to show you where we write later on, but I'm just going to put it home as an example here. Let's save the changes. And guys, you don't have to do this part. So I just want to show you what we're doing. So don't worry about putting home in here and saving and that. You can just watch what I'm doing for this part. I'm going to go to the front end and I'm going to refresh. And now you're going to see there's our after pseudo class here. And there's home after each one. But now we're obviously going to have different names, and I'm going to show you how we're going to add the names later. But I just wanted to put the home in there to show you what is happening. And that's what's happening. That the home is now appearing over here. Okay, but it's not appearing where we want it to appear. So we need to use something called absolute positioning. So let's go back to the theme options, and now you're going to write this code. So let's go to a new line, and let's type position absolute. So let's save the changes. And let's go to the front end and refresh. Okay, now you'll see it's moved slightly. So it's basically come out of its container. And now we can move it wherever we want to. So let's move it wherever we want to. And guys, I just know these numbers because obviously I built it before. So I want to move it left. So let's type left, colon, and 150%. And then let's go to a new line. And from the bottom, I want to move it 50%. Okay. So guys, just pause and copy this code and make sure everything is correct. And then let's save changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. Oh dear, now we can't see our text. If I open this, we also can't see our text. So where is it? So here you'll see is the after class over there. And if I highlight over it, you'll see on the left there, it's showing us where our text is actually sitting. It's sitting off screen there. And the reason it's sitting off screen and we can't, so it's sitting off screen, which we want, because we want it to the left there. So let me just use it in this scenario where our nav bar is in the narrow state, because that's where we're going to use it. We're not going to use it in this state. We're just going to use it in this state. If I highlight over it, you'll see it's kind of sitting where we want it to, but it's not showing. And why is that? If you remember, we put on that section this overflow hidden. So what that means is everything beyond this nav bar is hidden. It's not going to show. So when the nav bar is in this narrow state, we actually need to set the overflow as visible. So to do that, we're going to scroll down here till we get to this narrow nav bar where we made the comment here. And under this DG nav bar active, where we've got the width at 70 pixels, we're going to go and make a new line. And I see this is uppercase. I just want to change it to lowercase. And we're going to type there overflow visible, like that. And then we can save changes and come to the front end and we can refresh. And there's our names showing now. All right, so let's give it this. When we hover, you'll see it's got a background color and it's got that border radius on it, and I've changed the color of the text as well. So let's do that. Let's go back to after pseudo class here. Let's go to a new line and let's give it a background color. I'm going to use my gray, and then I want to give the font a color of white. So let's save that. And let's go to the front end and refresh. Okay, so it's given the background color and we've got some color on the font. I think I just want to increase the size of the font, and I want to give some padding so that we have some space between the background color and the text. So let's come over here and let's do a font size of 20 pixels, and let's do padding of 12 pixels top and bottom and 20 pixels left and right. So let's save the changes, and then let's refresh the front page. Okay, so that all looks better, but now it's not in line. So what we're going to do, let's go to a new line here, and we're going to use something called transform colon and then translate. And we want to translate on the y-axis, so make sure you choose translate y. Then we want to use brackets, and in there we want to put 50%. And then just remember to put the semicolon at the end. So let's save the changes. And let's go to the front end and refresh. Okay, and that's better. Now it's in line with our icons. Okay, but we don't really want it to just be sitting like that and displaying. So we're going to come and give some more code here, and we're going to use opacity of, I think before we do that, before we do the opacity, you can, I'm taking the opacity out. Let's first change this to the correct page names. So what we're going to do, I'm going to remove, yours should not have this home here. Or if it does, it doesn't matter, if you want just to see how it looked. But let's take the home out there, but you want to leave it exactly like that with the 2 quote marks remaining. If we save the changes, and then we go to the front end, you'll see now that that text has disappeared. Now, I just want to come to the back end here, and I want to come to our menu here. If you remember, right in the beginning of the video, which was, I know, a long time ago, we gave our menu links a second class, and we named it DG hyphen, then whatever the page name was, hyphen link. You remember that? I know it was years ago, but we need those classes now. So let's go back to theme options, and let's copy this DG menu links with the after pseudo class, and let's paste it over there. Now what we want to do is come to our menus and just copy yours. So yours obviously might be different here if you haven't used exactly the same classes as I have, and the reason will be is because you don't have the same pages as I do. So just copy yours, don't copy mine. Yeah, copy whatever you've put there. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come to the theme options, and then so I'm going to get this .dg menu links, and then after that I'm going to put another dot and paste my other class of DG home link. And guys, you don't have to put a space there because this all falls, both these classes fall within the same line. And then we're going to leave the after, and then we're going to open our curly braces, and yeah, we're going to type content colon, open our single quote marks, and yeah, we can type home. So this now will only show this text of home on this class of home link. So we can copy this entire code over here, and I'm going to paste it 5 more times. See, I forgot the dot there. Just remember you need to take the dot with you. So paste it for how many ever pages you have. And then we're just going to change out the second class. So this one I named about, and this page is about us. The third page I named services, and the page name is our services. And the fourth one I named Portfolio. And the page name was Our Portfolio. And then for the last one, I named it Contact, and this I named Contact Us. Okay, so let's save the changes. Then let's go to the front end and refresh. Alright, so there we go. There's all our page names in there, but now you'll notice again, it's moved where we've got two words, it's moved the second word to a new line, and we don't want that. So to fix that, we're going to use that white space again. And we need to come to this first after pseudo class and put in there white space, no wrap. And then we can save the changes. And we can go to the front end and refresh. And then you'll see now it's all on one line. Okay, but we don't want them to appear like this. So let's go back to our code here. Under this white space, no wrap, let's go to a new line and put in an opacity of 0. Let's save the changes. And let's refresh. Okay, so that now they are gone. When we hover, they don't appear. And that's because they are there, but it's got an opacity of 0, so no one can see it. So what we need to do, let's go back to theme options. We need to copy this DG menu links with the after pseudo. And then just after that, get to a new line and paste it again. And I forgot the dot again. Oh my word. And then after this class of DG menu links, just put your cursor after that and between these two colons. And you're going to add another colon and you're going to type hover like that. So guys, just make sure the code is exactly like that. And then you're going to open your curly braces, and all we're going to do is set now the opacity to 1. So let's save changes. Let's go to the front end and refresh. And if we hover, it appears now. The only thing I want to do, again, if we hover, it's that hard, immediate effect, and I want it to ease in a little bit. So let's just come to this first here. Remember, we can't put it on the hover state. We need to put it on the normal state. So under the opacity of 0, let's just put a transition. And we're going to transition the opacity 0.5 seconds, ease in, out. Let's save the changes. And let's go to the front end. And there we go. Then there's that nice ease in. Matches with our ease in of our background. We go to a new page. Sorry, this page is a bit ugly, but we go to a new page. It shows us what page we're on. We can open it. It still shows us what page it's on. And when we hover here, those right menu items don't appear. But when we close it, it does appear. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. You've built this and it's taken a long time, but I hope you've had fun. And out of all this, I hope you've learned some CSS if you are new to CSS and JavaScript. And that's my hope for videos like this, that I can maybe teach people, because I was once there where I struggled. And it was nice. I watched many YouTube videos to get where I am. So I've never studied CSS or that. I've just watched YouTube videos and practice and practice and practice. But then let me just show you. It's also, if we go to a phone, it also works quite nicely on a phone. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed that and you've learned some stuff. And Remember, if you need any help, if something's not working on this and you've gotten stuck somewhere, leave a comment with a link to the website so I can try troubleshoot it for you and maybe explain to me what's not working. Otherwise, if you don't want to leave links to your website, and that my email address is in the description, you can also send me an email and I'll try to respond as soon as possible. I'm just quite busy at the moment with some projects, so please excuse me if there is a delay. And then also let me know if you want me to make these layouts available for sale. Like I said, I won't make it expensive. I'll make it between somewhere like $7 or $10. And then you can just get this whole layout, and all you'll have to do is change the colors and the names. All the CSS and JavaScript will be done for you. And then I just want to thank you for sitting through this video. This is the longest video I've ever done. Hopefully it's the last longest video I've ever done. Hopefully the other stuff is much quicker, and this was easy. I know there's a lot of code, but it's easy code, and the more you do the code, the more you'll get used to it, and the more easier it will become. It was just quite a lot of code that we had to write, and a lot of things we had to do, and that's why it took so long. But thank you for sitting through this. If you've made it this far, well done, and well done if you've completed this. That's awesome. Well done on that. And then just another thing, if you guys want to work with me, if you want me to build a website for you, for your business, my details are down below. So there's a link to my website, and there's also an email address where you can contact me on, and you can also book a call on my website. It's a free call, and we can just go through what you need and what your budget is and all that, and we can discuss all that, and we can work together. Then if you've enjoyed this video, guys, please consider leaving a like. It helps me, helps the video, it helps with the YouTube algorithm to get my video out to more people. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I'm going to bring up more tutorials like this. I'm going to do more website builds. My first videos I started with were website builds, where I built a photography website or portfolio style website, and the other website build was a vacation or tourism website, I should say. And those, if you go to my channel, there's a playlist for them. And if you want to watch a full build, how I build out it's not an entire website, it's just basically 4 pages, but I build out the 4 pages in front of you, and you can have a look at that. And those actually don't have much code. There's like a little bit of flexbox that I use in them. Otherwise, everything's just built out in Divi, and I do highly recommend Divi. So guys, if you want to grab Divi, there's a link in the description where you can get it from. If you need hosting or a domain name, there's a link to Green Geeks, and you can get hosting and a domain name there. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I do get a commission, and if you do purchase through my links, I do appreciate it, guys. It does help me and the channel out. So really do appreciate it if you do that. And that's it, guys. I'm gonna stop rambling on now. This video has been long enough. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys soon with the next tutorial or the next website build. I'm deciding what I'm going to do next. Anyway, have a good one, guys, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.